Okay guys, so we are going to be doing a modification on my Axial C10. I know that some of you are going to say that it's slightly already modified. Yes, that's true. I just didn't make a video of that. So right now, we're going to be working on the shocks. So I went ahead, got on Amazon, and I picked up the Injora 43mm shocks. Supposedly they're going to be easy to install, so we're just going to see. So let's see what we have here in the package. I think I watched only one YouTube video on how to install these. These are the new shocks. I've heard really good things about them. They've gotten pretty good reviews. I also did not want to spend a fortune on modifying my small truck. These look pretty good. They look pretty solid. Let's get started. Now that we've removed all 4 tires, I'm going to go ahead and remove the original shocks. So here we have the old shocks and the new Injora shocks. Definitely a huge size difference. I'm hoping it's not going to give the truck too much of a lift. So the package from Injora comes with a few replaceable springs. I'm going to go ahead and go with the shock as it came already assembled. It does come with different types of springs. I'm thinking that long term I might be switching to these copper springs. They definitely are a little bit thicker, not as bouncy as what's on the stock, but we're gonna try what comes on the stock and see how that works. You also have, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but you also have an adjustment on the shock. So that allows you to kind of adjust it, or you could actually bring it down by rotating that little tiny collar. I think we're probably gonna keep it in the middle for all of them. Okay, so now that everything is removed, we're gonna go ahead and set the truck aside. And we're gonna attempt to put the tiny washers onto the tiny bushings. Okay, so when installing these, the only thing that you wanna make sure you're aware of is that your bushing has a flat, larger side, and it's got a slightly smaller, rounded side. I know it's really hard to kind of see that, especially on video, but there are 2 sides to your tiny bushing, and I found that the easiest way to install these is going to be taking your shock, kind of placing it in your hand like that, threading the small side of the bushing in, and then using your finger to kind of hold it in place like that. I'm lucky because I have nails, so I basically pinch the washer in between my nail and the washer, and then I use my other nail to just pull it across. I know a lot of you are not gonna be lucky like that. So now I just flip it over. So you've got the bushing threaded through the shock, and then you have a washer on each side of the shock. We're gonna go ahead and get the rest of these done. Okay, now that we have all the tops done, we're gonna now go ahead and thread the bottoms. Also, if you see my hands shaking relentlessly, it's because I have a condition called essential tremors, and it makes doing little tiny things like this damn near impossible. So I will definitely be time-lapsing that for you so you don't have to watch that. So now we've got both ends threaded, and we're gonna go ahead and get the rest threaded exactly the same way. All right, we finally got them all done. Bushings on the top and bottom of each of the shocks. And now it's time to get these back onto the truck. Okay, I ditched the Allen key because it's really difficult to work with. My husband actually got me this little tool kit. I want to say he got it from Harbor Freight. I could be wrong. I'll let you know in the description below where he got this, but I love it. It's real simple. We're gonna be attaching these in these two positions right here and here, which is where the factory originally installed them. I had done a mod to move them in a different location and I hated it. So, so we've got everything installed and all the shocks have been adjusted kind of to be in the middle section. I'm gonna ride it kind of like this and then see how I like it. Now all that's left to do is reinstall my tires. Okay, I originally thought that I was finished with this project. However, I kind of noticed that I was getting a lot of sagging here at the rear of the truck, causing the nose of the truck to kind of point upwards. I would imagine that it's probably because I've added the rails and the bed and all the fruit to the back of the truck. So I am actually gonna reposition just the rear shocks. I'm actually going to probably reposition them to here. You do have a small hole here that I'm gonna just kind of move them down, which is gonna cause the back of the chassis to kind of come up a little bit. And I'm hoping that it's gonna solve that problem. So let's see. Okay, so here you have it. Now both of these shocks have been moved a little bit lower onto the chassis to kind of compensate for how much weight I have in the bed of my truck. So we're gonna go ahead and get her body clips back on. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and post a before and after picture of what the rig looked like before I moved the shocks down and what the rig looks like right now so that y'all can see side by side what we kind of did. Okay guys, as you can see, we have finished our mod on the little C10. So you can kind of see them in there. I chose kind of orange copper, which looks awesome. I'm wondering how she's gonna run. So I do have my husband's stock C10 here, just so that y'all can kind of get a comparison in size. It's a huge difference. Now remember, I did install the Injora high lift links, so the truck automatically was slightly lifted, but these shocks definitely lift it much more than I was anticipating. I mean, it's a pretty big difference if you look at it. This is them kind of side by side. I mean, I'm sure my husband's truck is kind of disappearing there. So we're gonna go ahead and run these and kind of see what they look like. I'm gonna be doing another video pretty soon comparing a modded out C10 with my husband's stock C10 and see what the difference is. I'm really curious to know if doing all of these modifications actually really improves performance. In reality, I just think the trucks look really cute like that, but we're gonna see how they do. Until next time, we'll see you later.